on behalf of the Association of Aquatic Professional and the National Drowning Prevention Alliance, we would love to welcome you guys today. Thank you very much for joining us. Alyssa and I were talking about how we could really kind of share some information with everybody that might be beneficial for the conference, but also that Alyssa and I get to work together now, so more in depth. So I'm very excited about that. We've been very lucky that we have worked together on a variety of types of things in the past. So we're really excited about that. So welcome, first of all. I'm going to kind of address something right away off the bat because I've been getting a lot of phone calls. Obviously,
I know what this is. I know what this is going to be.
Yes, everybody is very aware of the hurricane in St. Pete's and Tampa and Clearwater and other places as well. And our hearts go out to everybody there. I have been in touch with Tradewinds. They are actually planning on reopening no later than October 25th at this point. It's kind of crazy to me because if you've been seeing videos and everything, it's just been astronomical. Some of the damage that has occurred. They have been through this before, so they're prepared. So they are getting it up and running as soon as possible. So there should be nothing that will affect our conferences at the Tradewinds. We're really excited about that. And again, our hearts go out to them and we will help them in any way that we possibly can. So get your registrations in, get your hotel reservations in. That was one thing they said might be affected a bit right now for the next few weeks. You can go in and check, but sometimes the rooms aren't showing up exactly right because their system has a couple glitches in it right now, which is understandable. So hopefully we'll get that up and running. But first of all, I want to welcome Alyssa. Again, very excited to be working with her. And why don't we give Alyssa a little bit of an opportunity to kind of talk about your position now with NDPA and
Sure.
what you're up to.
Sure. Thank you. And welcome everyone. And yes, it's 2 weeks into the role as interim executive director of the NDPA. And but I've been involved with this field and with the NDPA for 15 years. Dr. Adam Kaczmarchi is a very good friend and a trusted colleague. And when this opportunity to step into this space came about, I couldn't say no. I believe way too deeply in the work of the NDPA, the work of the AOAP, all of our partners and alliance members. And my first entrance into this world was at the National Drowning Prevention Alliance conference in 2010. I think it was 2010 in Colorado Springs. So I've been to that many of these conferences. And when the NDPA and the AOAP co-located the conferences, it was amazing to me because I used to present at both conferences and go to both conferences. And it was always, why aren't we doing this together? So now we're doing this together. And I really love getting to work with you, Julene, on a daily basis now. And as she mentioned, we've worked together for so many years on different projects and things. And so I still, before this position, I had 4 sessions at the conference in some way, shape, or form, and I'm still doing all of those with the people I was co-presenting with in my own session. So this is just a really honor to step into this space to help highlight and elevate the work that everyone here is doing here together. I think we have a shared vision. So as I said, Julian, you're probably going to be able to answer more of the conference related questions than me, but we're going to tag team this. So thank you for those words. And we will be doing a town hall, an NDPA town hall this Monday, October 7th, if you got our newsletter. And I will put the times in the chat because I don't want to screw them all up. But that will be a chance for people to come on if you have questions about what is happening at the NDPA. You can come on and answer those questions. The fine Alan Korn, who is an NDPA board member, and my water safety odd couple partner will be grilling me with all the questions that he has and that you also can submit. So that's on Monday. But anyway, back to the thing here. Thank you for that opportunity,
Fantastic.
Julie.
Thank you, Alyssa. We appreciate you. And we appreciate everybody that's on this call again. Kirsten, I saw put in the chat the link to the actual conference website. If you have not been there yet, you'll see it's a joint conference website. There's lots of opportunities for pre-conferences, post-conferences, the full conference. Lots of different things going on. At this point, you can see all the sessions are being offered, all the speakers. Again, you'll see Alyssa there many times. We will help her out as much as possible during the conference, so she won't go crazy. But a lot of things have really been in the works for a long time. And Alyssa, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we were really looking at this partnership, Adam and I, and some of the other NDPA board members for many years. So we had started a conversation probably 8 years ago about this, and it came to fruition 2 years ago. And one great thing that you'll see about this partnership is that we had in the past a couple attendees that crossed over, but a lot of speakers, like you said, and we had a lot of vendors. And bottom line is this partnership has really been able to open up a lot of doors for us, because a lot of the attendees at the AOAP conference weren't able to interact with a lot of those Families United groups that you have at NDPA. And I think that really opened up the eyes to everybody about why, as aquatic operators for our group, why we need to do better. And we need to really get that drowning prevention message out there and work with so many people. And they were never able to really have those conversations. And in the last 2 years, Alyssa, you've been at the conference,
Yep.
seeing names of people that have been there too. It's just been so exciting, because that conversation, walking down an aisle and seeing someone from a Families United group, and, Collins Hope, or, just so many different, Josh Theater, and there's so many, I can't even name them all.
Yeah.
But they were able to go up and have those conversations with families and parents. And it's just been such a wonderful partnership. And we've just really expanded it. And it keeps getting better every year. We made some changes last year. And what's great now is that you sign up for the conference and you pick if NDPA is your main conference that you're signing up for, or AOAP, but it doesn't really matter, because you get to go to any session that you want to throughout the whole entire week. We have general sessions, we have networking. So it's just been fantastic, I think.
I think it's only going to get better as we go on each year, including soon in February.
Yeah, and I think those are the discussions we're having. So just so you know, a lot of this, we want to have some discussions as if you have any questions that you might have in regards to it. We will, I'll throw in a couple things. Wednesday night, the all conference dinner social. If you've ever been at the conference in St. Pete's before, back in, I want to say it was 2017, 2018, but I could be wrong. We went on a 3-story cruise. So it's a big yacht starship. It's 3 stories. It's a huge ship. Dinner, a DJ, some activities going on in that. So that one is really fabulous. It's only less than a half a mile from the resort. So people just walk down the street, get on the boat, and we'll be set to go. But that'll have a great dinner as well. Monday night will be a networking social. And then obviously we really encourage everybody to go to the exhibit hall. So we have some amazing sponsors for the conference between NDPA and AOAP. We want to support them. We also have a lot of our commercial vendors that sell products, services, or programs that are there as well. But it's just kind of a great networking opportunity. I don't know about you, Alyssa, but I love going through the exhibit hall, just saying hi to friends, meeting up with people, learning new things.
It takes me the whole week though, because you get in one aisle and you get stuck in that aisle having all those conversations. But yeah, no, and I love the combination of the NDPA and the AOAP exhibitors, because they're slightly different, and we're, it's really great. And those people get exposed to each other, which I think is, again, a huge benefit to this partnership.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that we've all to do is come between a happy medium between our educational offerings and our network and social opportunities. And people might not think about this, but the exhibit hall is one of those social opportunities. So, I mean, the last handful of years, I'm in there at the end, the exhibit hall closes, and I'm like, okay, we're closing for the night, and I can't get anybody to leave, which is a great problem to have, if you want to call it a problem. But then we have that second day also on Wednesday, where people can come and do some additional things, and looking at some activities in there as well. So I think hopefully people are looking at the schedule that we've got on the website, and you can look it up by schedule. You can look it up by speaker. You can look it up by the day. You can actually download that schedule as a PDF. And then you get all the full information for everything that's being offered. Kirsten Barnes is AOAP's new assistant director. She actually created a conference registration booklet that you can download. That just has the titles of the sessions and stuff, not all the descriptions. And
we are not correct me if I'm wrong, we are not going to have a big physical paper book this year, correct?
We are
As
not.
part of,
Yep.
right.
AOAP had eliminated that a few years ago, and
Yep.
then NDPA thought it last year, let's try it again. And we have the mobile app on site,
Yep.
have the conference website, you can print those things off. So we're asking people to actually print those things off if you want a paper copy on site. Again, it helps us keep the fees as reasonable as we can, because those booklets, I don't know if anybody realizes, are thousands of dollars to get printed. So that is a change. So thank you very much, Alyssa, for letting us know that, or remind us of that. But does anybody have any questions as we're going through this for, maybe some things that you want to ask about the conference?
And you can drop them in the chat, or Julian, I don't know if you want to do it that way, or if you want people to raise their hands. I don't know how you want to manage that.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't mind interaction. I teach the 2-day AFO course, and let me tell you, virtually, it's really nice if people
and you have the opportunity to hit mute real fast. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you have questions, I mean, you showed up here thank you for showing up. So if there's something that you want to know specifically, and while we're waiting for those, do you want to talk about the keynote and the end note, or the opening and the closing? Because I think those are great to talk about.
Sure. Actually, I'm going to let Kirsten talk about the keynote, because she was actually helped us, if she doesn't mind, just kind of mentioning who the keynote is and everything, because actually it's somebody she knows and has seen speak before, and she does a fantastic job.
Perfect. Yes. I'll handle the end note, Kirsten, after you do the keynote.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I apologize, my camera's not on. I'm having some internet connectivity issues, so try to lower my bandwidth here. But our opening keynote speaker is Rich DiGirolamo. He goes by the name Recess Rich. Some of you may have seen him. He has done a lot of work with Parks and Recreation agencies, but his whole approach to business is, how do we get outside of the box that we often feel like we're stuck in? And we all have parameters that we have to work through, whether it's safety or legislative or those types of things. But he is going to bring to us in this opening conversation ideas to get outside of that box and approach things in a new way so that we can really accomplish the goals that we set out to accomplish.
Thank you, Kirsten. We're really excited about that. And then we're super excited as well for the end note. And just so everybody knows, we tag team these things. So AOAP sponsors the keynote, NDPA sponsors the end note. So we kind of work together on that. So Alyssa, why don't you cover the end note?
Sure, the end note, and I have to give a shout out to PHTA, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance, for helping us make this happen. But Rowdy Gaines, Olympic medalist, and many of you have seen him. He is ambassador, I don't know his official title at PHTA, but for the Step Into Swim program, which is they give out a lot of grants to swim lesson providers to support swim lessons. And Rowdy's going to do the end note for us, which again, PHTA, that was huge for them to help us get that, because that would have been probably way out of our budget. But so he'll be there, and he's a really great motivational speaker. He's entertaining, and I think it's a great way to end the conference, to help us end on a really positive note, and ending and sending us out back into our world. So we're really, really excited to have Rowdy as the end note. And I know I just heard that needed his registration hooked up, is that he plans to attend some sessions and things throughout the conference, which will really be great, because he'll be visible, and he's super personable. So make sure that if you see him in the exhibit hall, I imagine he'll be roaming around to chat him up, but he'll be our end note.
Yeah, and he's great. If anybody has not had the privilege of meeting him before, he is, like you said, Alyssa, he is so personable, but yeah, he's approachable. So you can approach him, you can say hi, you can talk to him, and he's just like another regular person. And we have been blessed to work with a lot of Olympic swimmers in the past. We've had Elizabeth Beisel and Dana Vollmer and Matt Biondi and Summer Sanders. And they're all just really approachable and such wonderful people. They just make it really easy to talk to them. Plus, it gives you a little goosebumps sometimes if you've been a competitive swimmer in the past, just to meet those amazing individuals. So we also have some other things going on. So on Monday morning, we start out with the doctor's presentation. Starfish Aquatics Institute actually sponsors that 1 hour presentation, talk about kind of medical doctors, what's new in the industry, those type of things. On Tuesday morning, we have a general session that's sponsored by Families United. Alyssa, you want to talk?
Yep, I can talk a little bit about that too, because I wear a different hat in my other life. I'm on the operations committee for Families United. And so I know that we are going to have a moderated panel. I believe, and Megan's on here, I believe Megan Farrar from the Zach Foundation, she has other hats too, but I believe she will be moderating that panel, and you'll have an opportunity to hear from multiple of the Families United parents, members in that session. And I like that it's early in the week, because then you have the opportunity to connect with them, whether it's in the exhibit hall or in sessions, to really meet them, figure out how you can get involved in your own community with families that might be located in your community, and that engagement. Allison, did you? Okay. Thought Allison Petrie was trying to say something. Yeah, so that session is always, please come and attend that. It's also, the courage of these family members is very inspiring, and the work that they're doing and making impacts is huge. And a lot of people don't know it. So, yeah.
Well, listen, I was going to say, we might have some people on here that don't know what Families United is. So
Sure.
Can you maybe explain that a little?
Sure. So Families United to Prevent Drowning, and it's not a nonprofit. It is a collection of family members and organizations who've been impacted by drownings and entrapments. And so there are, sadly, I know when we first started the group, after that Colorado Springs NDPA that I went to, soon after that, we started Families United, and there were maybe 15 to 20 families that were showing up on calls. And we started that. Many of you have probably seen that flip book that have the stories and the banners, that the Not One More Drowning banners that feature the person who drowned. And I would say most of them are children, but there's a couple adults in there and a couple of dad and son, and the stories of that the families have had the courage to share their stories. And so Families United is that group of all of those. And it's a lot of parents that are running small organizations themselves, or like I see Jen Poteet on here. She's now the executive director of Collins Hope. I was the executive director for 14 years. So there's Megan and Allison and Alan all work for Family Foundation. So there's staff, but there's also, it's driven really by the parents that have been impacted and by fatal and some non-fatal. I see Carrie on here, and we were emailing earlier before, and I know we want to hear more of the stories of the non-fatal drownings, but it's very, very impacting. That book that we had that is now online, if you go to familiesunitedtopreventdrowning.org, you can scroll to the bottom, and there's a electronic flip book that you can scroll through. I know when I see a lot of aquatic professionals folks on here, and I know when I used to do lifeguard trainings and things, I used those in my lifeguard trainings, and I come to my session at the thing and I'll tell you how to use it. But you can, really see the faces of faces and families of why we're here. And so it's an incredibly impacting session to go to. The banners that line the exhibit hall are overpowering. Do not try to read them all at one time, but connect with those families. They're sharing their courage and their loss and how their lives have been impacted, so that we can do our work in this field. So obviously, I'm very passionate about that group, and we're not a nonprofit. We have Abby's Hope has a fund that they manage if people donate to Families United, but a lot of the families come. We do some scholarshiping to get them there. So, but yeah, it's a very powerful piece to this conference, because they're very visible.
And I think, Alyssa, that's one of I don't want to say the largest thing that came with this partnership, but the most beneficial, I think, I want to say, because again, I never met a lot of those families. And now through our partnership, I've been able to speak with them and talk to them. And we've had some speak at our conference and do webinars for us, and just sharing their experiences and how, I mean, we all don't realize we can try to realize, but we don't realize how that affects
Yeah.
their lives and everybody else within their lives. And it's just something that I think as aquatic operators, from our point of view, having those conversations is so important because, and then going back and sharing those with our staff and telling
Yeah.
them, these are real life situations. And NDPA, I just have to give kudos this summer, your drowning prevention program that came out, and Adam, I know, was a big involved with that, but the one with the children, First Sport, that came out.
First Sport.
If you haven't seen that advertisement, you need to see it and share it. And then the other one, I don't remember the name of it.
It's the clothes they wore.
The clothes they wore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that one featured, I think, 4 families whose children drowned during unplanned swim time, we're trying to figure out what the right language around that is. But when people were not in the pool or around the pool, but the children made their way back. And so the whole campaign it's very powerful. It
is very powerful.
It features the clothing that they had on when they, in one case, like in Joshua Collingsworth, he was wearing a diaper, and there were Levi Hughes and Jack Helbig and Gunnar Martin, I think, were featured in there. And so those those are powerful.
Very powerful.
For sure.
Kirsten's putting the links in the
Thank
chat.
you, Kirsten.
Please take a look at those. If you haven't seen those, send Alyssa or myself an email. We can help with that as well. And share those things.
I'm looking at who's on here, and I know that I see Tina Dessar, who she's in charge of the U.S. National Water Safety Action Plan, and Megan's the chair of that. I don't know. I know there's going to be some sessions around the action plan and how to put that into play. I see Mick and Susan. I know they've got their Build a Pool conference, pre-conference. There's so many things. I saw a question in the chat. I know I'm supposed to be monitoring it.
Go ahead.
But there was a question asked about, have presentations been selected and people notified?
Sure. So every year we start taking session submittals right after the conference ends. So within the next week, we are taking them for the next year. The deadline is August 15th every year. So by August 15th, that closes. By September 1st, we choose those sessions. They go through committee members. They do an evaluation process. And then everybody is chosen that has their sessions been chosen. They get contacted. And then we try to give them a good week or so to let us know if they are going to still be willing and able to present, so we can get the schedule up and running. We get that up and running. And then anybody that was not chosen for this year is then informed at this point, saying that during this round, you haven't been chosen. Perhaps down the line, if somebody backs out, we might. But right now, and I will tell you, we had over 200 plus sessions submitted for this year, and we have, about half of that, a little bit more than half of that were chosen. So sometimes it can be very difficult. And if you submitted a session that was not chosen, it isn't because we don't like this or that about it, or you or anything along that line. It's just kind of how it fits into the schedule. We only have so many rooms available, so many time spots available, trying to fill all the different areas. NDPA, most of theirs are around drowning prevention. There's some other types as well, topics, but AOAP does programming, special events, staff training, leadership, risk management, legal liability, a university track we try to do. So right now we don't, once we accept those, we do not add on additional presenters because those sessions are chosen specifically based on what was submitted. So if they're doing that, right now we don't add speakers after that point. The speakers have been contacted. They all have speaker portals. So that's all set up at this time. So that's kind of how that portal works. Once you get registered, we haven't given everybody access yet to their attendee portals. We will as soon as I hear back from the last few speakers that we're still waiting on for contracts. Some of them were out of the country for 2 weeks and they couldn't get it to me. So I've got 2 or 3 more that we're waiting on. Once we get those, then we will give people that are registered now access to their portals, and then you can update your photos, your information, start building a schedule for yourself. One great thing about our conference combined, you don't have to pick a session in advance. You can if you'd like, But basically, if you'd like to go in there, you'll be able to kind of put in your schedule, and then you'll have on your mobile app, when you download it, that'll pop up and it'll tell you where you're supposed to be next, what session, what room, what time, all of those wonderful things. So that's fantastic. Are there
I
any-
see a question. I see a question in there. Alan's asking a question. Alan, I'll talk to you. I'm pretty sure if this is about the tech panel, or we'll sort it out.
Any other questions about the conference? I see like 12 in the chat, but it's too hard to read them and then kind of go through. But if anybody else has any questions, you can unmute yourself too.
Yeah, and for those of you who are just joining, this is being recorded. So if you missed the first part of it, you can watch it later.
Kind of something to let people know if you've never attended the conference before. When you register, you actually sign up again. I had mentioned as for AOAP or NDPA as your main conference. And then you will order tickets. We have tickets that are available to 4 different activities. We ask that you only order them if you actually plan on attending, because each one of those tickets has a monetary value attached to it. But then when you go to that event, like the Monday night networking social or the Tuesday exhibit hall grand opening where we serve food, Wednesday exhibit hall lunch, and the Wednesday night all dinner conference and social, you have to have a ticket. If you lose your ticket, we cannot replace those because again, each one of those tickets has a monetary value and they're quite large. I don't know if you've ever run a conference at an international resort or going on a huge cruise. There are some large expenses that are regarding that when it comes to food and beverages and those type of things. So again, if you get those, whenever you check in, we're lucky we have Maria and Dana at the registration desk. They check people in. Sometimes there's some other people helping, but they explain that really well. Put your tickets, zip them in your name badge holder, those type of things. You always have to wear your name badge at all times. So we know that you're registered for the conference and to be able to get into everything, including the exhibit hall and everything else. There is a free time at the exhibit hall. So if you know anybody in the area and you want to say, hey, come to the exhibit hall on Wednesday from 1 until 3, it's free. Anybody can come in. You don't have to be registered for the conference. We share that with all of our commercial vendors and let them know if you have a significant other that comes with you or a friend that comes with you to the conference. On Wednesday, they could get in from 1 until 3 and check out that exhibit hall as well.
Yeah, and if you're a Floridian and you have, like, I know there's a lot of things happening in this arena in Florida, like tell your local colleagues if they're not coming to the conference that they can come for that time period. I think that's a really great offering.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get more people there. And again, you can they can get a feel for it if they've never come to the conference or they don't have a budget to come to the conference, but they want to meet with some of those commercial members. That is fantastic. To be able to do that. We also send information to the local colleges to try and get any students there that might be interested to check it out as well. One thing I wasn't able to mention yet, Alyssa, is that on Wednesday we have the Aquatics International General Session. They support and sponsor a general session, and this year our speaker for that is going to be Sean DeRosa. So
nice.
A lot of people know Sean. He's amazing. He doesn't do too many keynotes. So I'm like, Sean, you want to do a motivational keynote? So he's going to be doing that for us. And he's super excited. And then you'll see some awards ceremonies throughout the NDPA does an awards ceremony.
Red Cross.
One. Red Cross does one. They sponsor our keynote. So we thank them for doing that. And you'll be seeing also on the conference website the sponsors for the various different things as well.
Will you be doing, last year you did the acknowledge the competitor aquatic professionals of the month that the AOAP does every monthly, and the Aquatics International. I don't know if they're doing their awards because I think they rotate it out, but maybe that's.
Nope, they do their awards every year.
Yep.
So that'll be on Wednesday morning. And then as soon as they're done giving out their awards and their recognition, they change the title sometimes. Sometimes it's a top 10, sometimes it's hour 25, depending on what it might be.
Yeah.
Give out ours after that as well for the competitor swim aquatic professional of the month, because we partner with them on that. So you'll see a lot of different things going on. We do a silent auction. We give out life jackets and swim lesson grants, so that helps us raise funds. We do a cork pull. You buy a cork for $20 and you get a bottle of wine. You're guaranteed a bottle of wine. And then we also do a 50-50 raffle as well. So there's lots of different things going on. I'm sure NDPA will be coming up with some additional extra stuff that they might be doing also.
I think the bottom line is rest up, because
Yeah.
I know it's you want to be able to participate in as many things as possible, and there's so much synergy and so much opportunity to network there in going to all of those things that so just try to rest up beforehand, because it's a busy week and you're there among all these amazing humans that are working in the same space. So take advantage of those conversations and those opportunities, whether they're at a social or in the sessions there.
And another thing is we also have both groups. If you're signed up for NDPA, I believe is going to have a first time attendee session again. AOAP does also. If you're a first time attendee, definitely go to that, because it's going to talk about tips and hints about how to get the most out of your conference experience. We have a lot of people that fly in early. Sunday, we have pre-conference workshops. We've got an aquatic facility tour anybody can sign up for. We've got some American Red Cross training that you can sign up for. We have a new aquatic venue operator course that was developed by CMAC. I was one of the committee members, so I'm really excited about that.
You can mute yourself. That would be great if you've got background noise. It happens.
I think Yvonne, yours must have unmuted.
If you need me tomorrow, anytime you need
Okay.
me.
Kirsten, you can mute her as well. But basically looking at those type of things, and we also have a Making Waves workshop that's being offered by Starfish Aquatics Institute. In the afternoon, there's pool information. There's a swim angelfish workshop for pre-conference. And I'm
Build a pool.
Safety workshop, build a pool is going on. You can still register for that. And if you're registered for the conference and that, they give you a discount. We have our director's school, which we're really excited about. We've added our third year now. That was kind of our plan. It was a 3-year initial plan. So now we have year 1, 2, and 3. We have the opportunity to get your AQP during the conference, or if you take all 3 years of the director's school. So there's so many things going on that it's just kind of mind-boggling that we've grown so much. We also have various other smaller things going on with ours as well. Some different meetings that are taking place with different groups. And we're going to continue to see that grow. We've got a handful of potential partners that are going to jump on starting for 2026. And we're really excited about those if they come to fruition. And that just offers more things for everybody that comes to the conference to participate in.
Yeah. So bottom lines, if you're not registered, get registered, book your rooms, have patience with the trade winds. We still have opportunities to sponsor. If you're with a group that has the ability to do that, there's both opportunities to sponsor on both sides of the partnership here. But this is exciting. I don't know. Does anybody have questions, comments, concerns, anything? We've got a few minutes left. We want to make sure we get you what you came here for today.
Don't all speak at once.
Okay. I mean, I'll give another plug for the attending the NDPA town hall on Monday. And I'm going to look real quick at my phone so I don't screw up the times, because I'm in the mountain time zone, and it's I don't want to say the wrong time, but it is at noon Eastern. That would be 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific, and I'm not sure what Arizona those folks do. What time? Julian, you should be able to comment on that.
Well, yeah, right now we are at 12:34 Arizona time, and I always tell people Arizona time. I don't say because we don't change.
I know.
Everybody else changes, we change. So I just say we're on Arizona time now. So that helps out. But we want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are so excited about this. As you can see, Alyssa and I are really excited to work together. It is just going to make things better and better. And again, it's so lovely seeing so many people we know names on here, which is great. And we can't wait to see you all in February. So get registered, get all set up, and we will just.
Yeah, reach out
Yeah,
if
with
you,
anything you
if
need.
we, yep. Have a great weekend.
Thank you all for joining us. Have a great day.